Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the maple syrup process. In my previous video, part 1, we ended off with boiling just a couple hours into the process. And yeah, it's about noonish. We got a couple hours yet to go. And then this evening sometime, my brother and I will be transferring this over, which I will show you what that looks like. Yeah. A little hard to see, but this is what it kind of looks like. See if I can pull up my light here. Yeah. So it's boiled down to some extent now. So we're going to be transferring it over here in a minute. This is one batch so far. It won't be that big of a batch, but that's totally fine because there's still more sap that's coming. So you said it holds like 20 liters?
Well, I figure roughly 75 when you bring it up to that level.
Okay. But like of syrup right now, that's about 20?
I would say probably get close to something like that.
And this thing is only 20 liters?
Well, the
bag is?
No, the bag just goes into a turkey fryer pan in there.
Oh.
Minerals in the sap turn to sand.
Nope.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I just need to take a little calorie for full.
Like a third.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so I'm going to. So that your light?
Yep.
That's not bad.
It's what, half a pail?
Little more to be 3/4. Like this is still almost done.
Oh, right.
But no, we boiled it far enough that it'll all fit. So see the black stuff? That's your sugar sand. So the idea is to get that much of that out as you can, because you have to get it out of the syrup. You want the syrup to look nice and clear. So basically what we're doing now, these are all pre-filters. So these are like your milk soft filters, similar idea. They just take the big stuff. Okay, so alright. We just keep doing the same thing until we get it empty.
How many layers are there?
There's 6 pre's and then the cloth one. Let's see how it gets caught up.
How long have you been boiling for?
Started at noon.
Started at noon, so that's about 3 hours? 3.5 hours?
It took about an hour to warm it up.
Right.
Yeah, we had to turn it down, or she'll boil right over.
Where did you keep the bucket stored overnight then? Just in the house? In a warm...
No, we put it in that thing and just tucked it so the cats can get at it.
Okay.
You want it cold, you don't want it hot.
So keep it stored then in a dry, cool
try to-
place. And what happens if you go too far then? It just gets thicker and thicker?
Thicker and thicker, yeah, and then you get less and less liquid. Like when we entered the fair, too thin was disqualified and too thick would have been disqualified too.
Okay.
Like they actually tested it, great.
Okay. So then you have, the next step after this would be to get jars.
Pour it through a vacuum. She's already got the jars in the oven.
Okay.
Warming up. Then we have pour it through a vacuum filter, which she's setting up right now.
Okay.
Down to like 10 liters. Like it boiled half of the liquid out of here. So it could have went farther yesterday for sure.
Okay. Because last night it seemed quite
Thin.
good, yeah.
Basically what it is the hotter the thing is, the higher the red mark is, so the less height this thing has to float. So it's got a big bubble on it. It was only 600 liters, so normally we do 1,000 liters at a time, so it's going to be less. This is still probably like 10, 12 liters.
So now you're just testing
Testing again.
again.
The stuff that was in it wasn't quite there, but it boiled for another 5 or 10 minutes, so.
Alright, she is ready to go now. We're going to start pouring it over into bottles here in a moment.
the stuff doesn't like to go through because of how thick it is. So this will suck it through. Okay, so you're gonna fire up that switch when I tell you to.
Alright.
Maybe go around the stove and be in from behind. Okay, just act that bottom valve shut tight. Okay, fire out.
Now we're gonna start the bottling process. So what's the most amount of bottles that you've filled up? Like, what would you say your best year was?
For maple syrup?
Yep.
That's hard to say. The second year.
The second year?
Well, no, we did 2 years, just little
Batches.
little batches. Second year we're in the bush, I think we got like, I have no idea how many liters though. It's 240 bottles, so it would have been 120 liters out of 100 and something taps.
So over a liter of shrimp tap.
That's half, yeah, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Tracy, you put those in.
How long do you get the bottles to heat up for before you fill them?
At least 15 minutes.
The biggest reason for that is the syrup has to be at 180 degrees to seal, and if the bottle's cold, then it drops the temperature to liquid too much that they don't want to seal.
Okay.
Laying them down helps the caps to seal.
It gets the liquid against the cap, so it heats them up.
Okay. And these are 1 liter bottles or
No, 500 ml, half liters.
half liter bottles?
I think.
That's pretty cool. I've never actually seen this process before.
I have.
It's actually quite rewarding, like tapping the trees, drilling the trees, and then like walking through the bush.
It's best when
And
you got,
getting the
you
tote.
got a whole table full of these bottles, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're good for a long time. This stuff's gonna look the best in the bottles. I'd almost sooner put the dark in the.
Yeah.
Why is that one this stuff gonna look the best? Is it
This stuff's nice and clear, so when you look through it, we'll look through it after we're done here, once they're all sealed up, and they look really nice.
So would you say that they're pretty clear?
You look through and tell me.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, they come up pretty nice.
Yeah.
But that's amber for sure. If not golden.
What's your Christopher?
What color is it, sorry?
Golden is like really clear syrup. Very little maple flavor, mostly just sweet. And as it goes golden, amber, dark, really dark. When you get down to the dark,
They're hot.
it's a higher maple flavor.
Okay.
I've had like never done really dark that wasn't like bitter, so
Okay.
but
So
it can be done. It's just I haven't done it.
right. So if it's that darker maple flavor,
People like that. Some people like that more. They taste. Or some people just want a sweet syrup. Then, but these look really nice. Like a darker one, it just looks like a dark bottle or something.
right?
Whereas you can see right through them. It's like wow, that's crystal clear.
Leave them lying down just for like 2 or 3 minutes.
They say 10 seconds. I do 3 in a row and then pop them up.
Okay. So putting that vacuum on there would just blow air.
No, it doesn't blow. It sucks.
It sucks
There's a little
air.
tube down, so it sucks from in there. It's like a vacuum for the milk. It sucks. So it sucks it down from the top, and the stuff falls through, and then the air comes back out.
And then it would suck it through the filter.
Yeah, it pulls it through the filter.
Yeah. Okay.
So otherwise, it just sits there and it won't go through sometimes. With a vacuum, gives it an extra draw.
And there's still half a bucket out there still that you have to pour in yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is like we're getting close to 12, so if we get
It's
half,
dropping, like it's almost at
the
1
temperature
meter.
starts to drop as it comes off the thermometer, so you can generally tell.
Alright, so now we're about 12 bottles in.
Hot, hot, hot.
Get your boots on here, quick. So now we'll get the second half.
Like as much as the first one. bottom shut. Yeah, okay. Light her up. Alright, back in.
Alright. Fill up the other bottles now. Alright, so we're getting close to finishing up here for filling the bottles.
Oh. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. It's not going to be 12 liters, probably 10 liters. Because that's 18, 19, 20, so we got 10 liters for sure. Maybe 10 and a half.
No, those ones are empty.
You here for that bottle out?
Maybe.
We're gonna cap it.
That's what, 21 bottles in?
Yeah.
Nice.
Right on the money. Alright, cool. Otherwise what ends up happening is it goes in our bottle.
Alright. Now we're just gonna test them quick.
And this tells you how much light goes through it. First one was 50, we're gonna go with that.
Okay, so with it being 51, that would be...
We're gonna say 50, there's a 30.
That's what, amber?
Amber.
Amber? Okay.
Amber.
And that's normally what it is?
No, amber's like the start of the season, amber, and then halfway through the season it'll go dark.
Okay. So do people prefer like syrup?
They don't generally, we're just like we have the amber or dark and they're like, yeah, cool.
Okay. Alright, so we just moved the bottles here to the other kitchen table. And we're going to put stickers on them. And then we're going to call that good and finished.
Put this big thing.
Okay, so now for a closer look at the sticker here. The first one is the label, which is basically saying that it's maple syrup on the side there. On the right hand side of that, you have the amber grade A, which is basically the light density. And then you have the Back to Nature Organics, which is the company name that made the syrup, right above. And then you have the nutrition facts. And that basically gives you all the ingredients of syrup.